The idea of owning a home is deeply rooted in our culture. It represents more than just a roof over your head. It is sold as a three-part promise. The first part is shelter. A home is a safe, private space for you and your family. It provides protection from the elements and a place to build a life. This fundamental need for a stable living environment is the foundation of the homeownership dream. It is the most basic function a house is meant to serve. Without this, the other promises lose their meaning. It is the starting point for everything that follows. The second part of the promise is stability. Owning your home means you are not subject to a landlord's decisions. You cannot be asked to leave at the end of a lease. You will not face unpredictable rent increases each year. This control over your living situation offers a powerful sense of security. It allows you to put down roots in a community. The third part is wealth. A home is often described as the most important investment a person will ever make. The idea is that as you pay your mortgage, you build equity. Your home's value is expected to appreciate over time. A fundamental shift has occurred in how we view housing. What was once primarily seen as a place to live has been reframed. Today, a home is often treated first as a financial asset. This change in perspective is subtle, but has enormous consequences. When a home is primarily shelter, its value is tied to its usefulness for living, its size, its location, its condition. Its price is connected to what a local worker can afford to pay for that utility. When a home becomes primarily an asset, its value changes. Its price is no longer tied just to local wages or its function as a home. Instead, its value is determined by its potential for financial return. It is measured against other investments, like stocks, bonds. A house is now something to be bought, held for appreciation, sold for a profit. This perspective invites outside capital into the housing market. Investors, corporations, global financial players competing directly with local families. This transformation changes market behavior. The conversation around housing shifts from, "Is this a good place to live?" "Is this a good investment?" Real estate listings emphasize potential rental income and future appreciation. Financial news networks report on housing price indices with the same intensity as the stock market. This constant focus on financial metrics reinforces the idea that a home's primary purpose is to grow in value. Mortgages appear to make homes more affordable. They allow a person to buy a house without having the full purchase price in cash. A typical buyer might only need to provide a fraction of the cost up front. The bank provides the rest. This mechanism seems helpful. It puts the keys in the hands of families who would otherwise wait decades to save enough money. Without mortgages, the vast majority of people would be unable to participate in the housing market at all. They are the financial tool that makes the modern home ownership dream seem possible for the average person. However, mortgages have a hidden effect on the market. They do not just make individual homes more accessible, they also increase the entire market's tolerance for higher prices. If buyers had to pay in cash, the maximum price for a home would be limited by their savings. But when a bank offers a 30-year loan, the buyer's focus shifts. Show 30-year mortgage timeline graphic. They are no longer asking, "Can I afford this $500,000 house?" Instead, they ask, "Can I afford this $2,500 monthly payment?" The total price becomes an abstract number, while the monthly payment becomes the concrete reality. This change in thinking allows sellers and builders to push prices higher. As long as banks are willing to lend more money, and as long as interest rates keep the monthly payment manageable, buyers will accept higher and higher sticker prices. The mortgage acts as a bridge between what people earn and what homes cost. But over time, that bridge gets longer and longer. A home that cost 3 times the average annual income 40 years ago might now cost 8 times the average income, might now cost 10 times the average income. The mortgage is what makes this gap possible to cross, but it does so by creating massive long-term debt. The result is that housing is no longer priced based on its construction cost or its utility as shelter. It is priced based on the maximum amount of debt a buyer can be approved to take on over 30 years. This system turns a home purchase into a long-term debt agreement. The house itself is simply the collateral for the loan. If you fail to make payments, the bank takes the collateral. The primary financial relationship is not between you and your home, but between you and your lender. The mortgage machine effectively transforms the act of securing shelter into the act of taking on decades of debt. Several powerful forces work together to keep housing prices on an upward trajectory. The first is the widespread availability of cheap credit. When interest rates are low, borrowing money is less expensive. This encourages people to take out larger loans. Central banks often lower interest rates to stimulate the economy. While this may help other sectors, it pours fuel on the housing market fire. A small drop in the interest rate can significantly increase a buyer's purchasing power, allowing them to bid more for the same house. This directly contributes to price inflation across the board. A second force is what can be called engineered demand. Governments often promote homeownership through various policies and subsidies, tax deductions for mortgage interest, grants for first-time homebuyers, government-backed loans that require very low down payments. While these programs are designed to help people buy homes, they also increase the number of buyers competing for a limited number of properties. This surge in demand, without a corresponding surge in supply, inevitably pushes prices higher. The policies intended to make housing more affordable can end up having the opposite effect. The financial industry itself also plays a key role. Mortgages are not just simple loans. They are financial products. Banks bundle thousands of mortgages together and sell them to investors as mortgage-backed securities. This creates a huge global appetite for new mortgages. To feed this appetite, lenders have an incentive to approve as many loans as possible. This creates a system where the goal is to generate more and more debt, because that debt can be packaged and sold for a profit. The health of the borrower or the sustainability of the home price becomes a secondary concern to the need to create more mortgage products. These forces create a self-reinforcing cycle. Rising prices encourage people to buy now, before prices go even higher, creating a sense of urgency. This fear of missing out, or FOMO, drives further demand. Existing homeowners see their net worth increase on paper, making them feel wealthier and more secure. They then have a vested interest in seeing prices continue to rise. Politicians are reluctant to change policies that might cause home values to fall, as it would anger a large and powerful group of voters. All these factors combine to create a powerful upward momentum that is very difficult to stop. In any system with defined incentives, there are clear winners and losers. In the financialized housing market, the winners are those who already own assets. Existing homeowners benefit directly from rising prices. Each time the market value of their home increases, their personal net worth grows without them having to do anything. This appreciation can be accessed through home equity loans or by selling the property for a large profit. For these individuals, their home has functioned as a powerful investment vehicle. The financial and real estate industries are also major beneficiaries. Banks and mortgage lenders profit from originating and servicing trillions in loans. They earn fees on every transaction and interest over the life of the loans. Investment firms that buy mortgage-backed securities, investment firms that purchase large portfolios of rental properties, both see significant returns. Real estate agents, developers, construction companies all thrive in a high-price, high-transaction market. The system is structured to generate fees and profits at every step. The losers are those without assets, particularly first-time homebuyers and younger generations. They compete in a market where prices are detached from local wages. They must save for years to accumulate a down payment, only to see prices rise faster than they can save. When they finally buy, they often take on enormous debt loads that constrain their finances for decades. They enter the game at a disadvantage, paying inflated prices for assets previous generations bought for much less. Renters are also on the losing end. As home prices rise, so does the cost of renting. Landlords often set rent based on their mortgage costs and the property's market value. Renters pay for an appreciating asset for someone else. They build no equity and have no share in the financial gains. They are perpetually exposed to rent hikes and housing instability. The asset poor, renters and aspiring buyers, find themselves precarious, providing the financial foundation for a system from which they may never benefit. Renting is often framed as a flexible alternative to buying. It lets you move for a new job or for a life change. No large down payment. No responsibility for maintenance or repairs. For many, renting is practical and necessary. But in a financialized housing system, renting plays a different role. It becomes a mechanism for income extraction. The monthly rent check isn't just paying for shelter. It's a steady revenue stream for the property owner. A rental is an income-generating asset for landlords. Rents are set to cover the mortgage, taxes, insurance, maintenance, and to leave profit. As renters pay down the landlord's mortgage month after month, the landlord's equity grows. Renters end the year with receipts, not equity. They're funding someone else's wealth. That one-way transfer of value is the renter's dilemma. The effect is starker when large investment firms buy thousands of single-family homes to operate them as rentals. These firms aren't local landlords. They're asset managers. Their duty is to shareholders, not tenants. Their goal: maximize returns. That can mean aggressive rent hikes, high late fees, and skimped maintenance. Shelter becomes a line item on a corporate balance sheet. Renters become predictable cash flow in a financial portfolio. The system creates a permanent divide between capital owners and others. As property values and rents rise together, saving for a down payment becomes harder. Renters get trapped in a cycle of rising rents, which enriches property owners and makes ownership more out of reach. Renting should be a simple housing transaction, but instead, it fuels the widening wealth gap between owners and non-owners. A common response to high housing prices is a simple one: build more homes. The logic seems straightforward. If there is a shortage of housing and high demand, increasing supply should make prices fall. This is basic supply and demand. Increasing supply can ease pressure in some markets and give more options to residents. Advocates therefore push new construction, zoning reform, reduced regulations. But in a financialized market, simply adding supply doesn't fix the core problem. New supply can be absorbed by investment capital just as easily as by families seeking shelter. If housing is treated as a stable, attractive asset, new homes become investment opportunities. Developers build what's most profitable, often luxury apartments or high-end homes aimed at the wealthiest buyers and investors. That supply may not be accessible to those who need it most. Imagine a city with thousands of new apartments. Institutional investors can buy entire buildings before completion. They turn units into rentals and set prices at whatever the market will bear. Supply rises, but it's absorbed by capital, not by local wage earners aiming to own. Units increase, but prices may not fall because investor demand stays strong. The problem isn't just unit counts. It's a system of incentives treating housing as a commodity. As long as cheap credit exists and housing is seen as a superior investment, new supply won't lower prices for ordinary people. The capital is simply too deep. The solution can't be only more houses. It must change the financial incentives that inflate value. Otherwise, building more is like pouring water into a bucket with a hole. The water level may not rise, you know. Taking on a 30-year mortgage has profound effects that go beyond personal finance. It can significantly reduce a person's mobility and flexibility. A homeowner is physically and financially tied to a single location. Selling a house is a complex process. It's expensive. It's time-consuming. It involves real estate agent fees, closing costs, market uncertainty. This makes it difficult to move for a better job in another city or to adapt to changing family needs. The large debt acts as an anchor, holding the homeowner in place. This lack of mobility can have broader economic consequences. A flexible labor force is considered essential for a dynamic economy. People need to be able to move to where the jobs are. When a large portion of the workforce is locked into long-term mortgages, labor becomes less mobile. An engineer in a declining industrial town may be unable to take a better job on the other side of the country because they cannot easily sell their home. This lock-in effect can lead to mismatches in the labor market and slower economic growth. Workers are less able to pursue their best opportunities. From the perspective of large employers, a less mobile workforce can be an advantage. When employees are tied to a specific location by their mortgage, they have less bargaining power. They are less likely to quit their job over wages or working conditions if there are few other local options. The mortgage makes them a more predictable and stable source of labor. An employee with a large monthly house payment is less likely to take risks, such as starting their own business, going on strike. In this way, the mortgage system can indirectly serve to discipline the labor force. These are the golden handcuffs of homeownership. The home represents wealth and stability, which is the golden part. But the massive debt required to obtain it creates the handcuffs, limiting freedom and flexibility. The homeowner is tethered to their job and their location to ensure they can make the monthly payment to the bank. This arrangement benefits the lenders who hold the debt and, in some cases, the employers who have a more captive workforce. The dream of freedom through ownership can, paradoxically, result in a loss of personal liberty and economic liberty. The housing market we see today is not the result of individual moral failures or specific political ideologies. It is the product of a complex system of incentives. Every participant is acting rationally based on the rules of the game. First-time buyers take on huge debts because it is the only way to enter the market and escape rising rents. Existing homeowners vote to protect their property values. Their home is their largest asset and the foundation of their retirement savings. These individual actions, when combined, create the lock-in effect. This lock-in is structural. Once a society bases its middle-class wealth creation on appreciating home values, it becomes very difficult to change course. Any policy that threatens to lower or even stabilize house prices would be seen as a direct attack on the financial security of tens of millions of homeowners. These homeowners are a powerful political constituency. They will naturally resist any changes that could diminish their primary source of wealth. This creates a powerful political inertia that protects the status quo. Financial institutions are also locked into this model. The entire mortgage industry is built on the continuous creation and circulation of housing debt. A market with stable or falling prices would mean fewer loans, lower profits, and a less attractive product for global investors. Banks, lenders, investment firms have a powerful vested interest in maintaining a system where prices are always expected to rise. They will use their considerable influence to lobby for policies that support this model, such as low interest rates and subsidies for buyers. This web of interlocking incentives creates a system that is highly resistant to fundamental change. Everyone is trapped. Young people are trapped out of the market. Homeowners are trapped by their debt and the need for prices to keep rising. Politicians are trapped by the demands of homeowner voters. Banks are trapped by a business model that requires perpetual debt creation. The result is a system that continues on its path, not because it is fair or efficient at providing shelter, but because the incentives for all the major players are aligned to keep it going. The challenges in our housing market are often described as a crisis of affordability, a simple shortage of homes. This framing suggests the problem is an unfortunate accident, a temporary market imbalance that can be corrected with a few adjustments. But a closer look reveals something different. This is not an accident. It is the logical outcome of a specific economic model, a system of rules and incentives designed and refined over decades. That model treats housing not as shelter, as collateral for debt, a vehicle for financial speculation. This model was built to achieve certain goals. It encourages the creation of long-term debt, profitable for banks. It creates a class of property owners whose wealth rises with market inflation, giving a sense of prosperity. It channels global capital into a seemingly safe, stable asset class. The system is working as it was designed to work. High prices, massive debt loads, widening gap between owners and renters are not bugs. They are features. They are the natural consequences of core incentives. To understand this is to reframe the problem. The question is not, why is there a housing shortage? But why have we designed a system that turns a basic human need into a financial instrument? The debate must go beyond building more units, role of debt, influence of global investment capital, policies prioritizing housing as an asset over a home. We must examine the fundamental rules of the game. Addressing the housing crisis requires acknowledging the model we built. A model with clear winners and losers, driven by powerful financial incentives. It is not a natural law that house prices must always rise faster than wages. It is the result of a series of choices. Recognizing this is the first step. The next step is asking, is this model serving the broader goals of a healthy society? Is a system that provides shelter by creating decades of debt for the young and streams of passive income for the wealthy the best we can do? That is the real question we face. When shelter becomes collateral, access depends on leverage. And when leverage becomes normal, debt becomes permanent. Housing didn't fail people. It was redesigned around incentives that no longer center them.